Coming up, we decide which comic book character is the best by way of a Mortal Kombat tournament with the help of the Totally Rad Show's Jeff Cannata. It's all coming up on NSFW.
Double complete rainbow.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust. This is Twit.
Bandwidth for NSFW is brought to you by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is NSFW episode 31 for July 6th, 2010. Comic Kombat, or
Mel Gibson hates Mondays.
This episode of NSFW brought to you by Audible.com. To download a free audiobook of your choice, go to audiblepodcast.com/NSFW.
Whoa, that's a full rainbow all the way. Double rainbow, oh my god, double rainbow. It's a double rainbow all the way. Damn, it's a double rainbow all the way. Damn, oh my god. What does this mean? It's so bright, so vivid. Double rainbow, it's so dense, dense. What does this mean? It's starting to even look like a triple rainbow. That's a whole rainbow, man. Ah! Double rainbow all the way across the sky. So intense. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. Wow, wow, oh my god. Look at that rainbow. Double complete rainbow. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's full on. I can't even capture it on my camera. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. So intense. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. Wow, wow, oh my god. Look at that rainbow. Woo! Woo! That is the baddest f***ing rainbow I've ever seen. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. Yeah, yeah, so intense. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. Wow, wow, oh my god, look at that rainbow.
Check out the original level.
All right, look, and with that, it's go time. It's the new show full of win, the new sauce for the Webernuts. It's none other than Twit's favorite mistake. It's NSFW. I am your co-host, Mr. Brian Brushwood, joined as always by the inimitable Mr. Justin Robert Youngsicles III. How are you, JRY, sir?
Welcome to the Night Attack, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I like to think that this show's full of some serious business, you know, if you ask me. What's going on, my man?
Yeah, it's good to be here, and it's good. I was thinking, you know, it's good to have Jeff Cannata back on the show, but he's never been on the Twit mothership yet.
That's right. Well, actually, and I take that back, he actually has been on Twit twice, 2 times, and 3 if you count the time that we interview him down at E3, but he's never been on NSFW. It is, of course, co-host of the Totally Rad Show, Mr. Jeffrey Cannata Stan. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, double rainbow all the way.
Oh, gee, oh, no,
All
no,
the
no.
way.
Rainbow.
Double complete rainbow. Did that blow your
awesome.
mind? Was that a little slice of hiking heaven there when that popped into your inbox this morning?
It's crazy how I think I was actually day before yesterday that someone tweeted that the first time, and I kind of watched half of it and was like, I don't even know what this is. And then all of a sudden, it's like this tidal wave of that's the video that's on the internets now. Everybody's watching it.
It's amazing how the internet can pick up, like, you know, the shabbiest orphan and raise it up to the heavens and sing its praises and make it the happiest thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even now with Twitter, it's like it happens even quicker and more completely. You know, you'll not have somebody that'll be like, oh, did you see this? Oh, yeah, I saw that 2 months ago. It doesn't happen anymore. It's like, well, maybe I saw it earlier today, but that's about it.
And also, it's like the groups that we comprise ourselves of, like on the internet, are so tight now that it's like when Brian sends me something like 2 days that I've seen 2 days ago, I'm like, whatever. That's so crazy.
Well, and
how did you not see that? You had to be willfully ignorant to not have seen that.
I'd like to think that we really realized America's vision with the internet of turning the entire globe into a giant elementary school where we can all giggle at each other, mock each other, and pass notes to each other. Thank you, the internet.
Don't you think now, like, recently I was out of the country for a few days and, not tied in every second to what was happening on the net.
That's weird.
And literally you come back and you feel like you've missed a year and a half.
You missed everything. You have culture shock. You're like, I know who's this cat playing the keyboard. This is crazy. I've never seen such a thing before.
How long did it take him to do that? How is that even possible?
Why is he laughing at the misfortunes of other people? What a terrible cat. That's a nasty cat.
What a mean-spirited little pussy.
All right, okay, hold on. What do you think this show's called? By the way, we're auditioning a bunch of other different names for the show because, unfortunately, when you call your show NSFW, that's code on the internet for Here There Be Boobies, which is not necessarily true, and so we're trying to come up with other names. We've had
I have a name suggestion.
Oh, do you have a suggestion? Yeah, by all means.
How about Here There Be Boobies? No?
Fair enough. So we got a suggestion from Jeff.
Try as we might to have gotten boobies on the show. That was our first plan. It was like, if we were going to have a show that pretty much advertised hardcore pornography, let's just bring that in. And it didn't wind up washing. But you know what, Brian? Before we get into the name thing,
yes,
let's get into the game tonight.
Well, I just had one thing that came in just today, and I absolutely loved it. I think we really should be called Too Legit to Twit, which we'll see where that goes.
I like how my face is faded in there, like I'm like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something.
It's Brian and his undead co-host's floating ghost.
Man, it's been really, the show's been really weird ever since Brian killed Justin and had his face mounted like one game in the woods.
All right, look, let's get into the game. Talk to us, Justin. What are we doing today?
Well, we have Jeff on, and he, of course, of Totally Rad Show, where all things rad are hashed out and discussed in their proper function. We wanted to go through some of the greatest comic book characters and really, for once and for all, decide who's the baddest in a little game we like to call the comic book character deathmatch.
Or, as one of our intrepid chat room Photoshop enthusiasts sent to us,
Double complete rainbow.
the dynamic duo face their biggest threat yet, JRY. So how are we going to structure the shenanigan? Because look, this is an objective thing. On NSFW, we don't just express our opinion. Well, I think Superman's stronger than Batman. Well, I think Spider-Man could see it coming. We don't decide that way. We decide objectively and indisputably. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We scoured the internet, and we had all of our loyal followers email in all the characters they wanted to take part in this. And then we are going to have our first round, which will be determined where one character will go against another character in a series of highly implausible comic book scenarios, which we, as the tribunal, will decide who would be better suited for it.
Exactly.
So it's going to be kind of a luck of the draw thing, but it's going to be us to talk it out.
Well, and in fact, a lot of people have likened it to the way Shang Tsung presided over the Mortal Kombat tournament. We have Shang Yang, who takes in charge and decides once and for all who wins. So we need you to practice your best fatality voice, if you don't mind helping me out with that.
All right. I think it actually. Hold on. I'm gonna lose my voice, so it's gonna be a little weird.
Okay, go for it.
Double complete rainbow.
I'm glad you got that worked out. All right, now let me I got to set up the cameras for our tribunal here. There we go. So the tribunal is ready to speak. There we go.
Hey, wait. Watch this.
I'm uncomfortable. Oh, double complete rainbow.
By the way, for those listening, Jeff Cannata is really getting inappropriate with Brian via split screen.
All right, let's do this. First of all, you got to go through our nominations. Now, I want you to think of this in terms of a tournament, right, Jeff? So it's like we're sitting up, the tribunal sits up on the dais, looking down on the masses, and the first character to come walking into the blood-soaked arena is Justin Robert Young.
That's going to be Rorschach of the Watchmen comic book series and movie.
Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
not going to lie to you.
Hold on.
Rorschach's going to get his ass kicked, but that's okay.
Hold on. We had a show fail.
Well, that's good. Because
Apparently, we got censored by the man.
Because I licked your face.
Double complete fail. Oh,
All the way.
double complete fail all the way
Whoa,
across.
it's almost a triple fail.
Oh, double complete fail. I don't know
Jeff,
if we're here.
did you see the info on that video? The YouTube info?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Read it for Jeff.
I don't have the exact wording, but basically, like, the info is him saying, it was a lot more vivid. The camera didn't really pick it up.
Aww. We'll never know the true glory of that double complete rainbow.
The chat room's already calling it a fatality. Chat room, are we back? That's what I need to know.
Apparently, people are hypothesizing
My
that we're
town
the
Jess
first
killed the
victim-
internet. My town Jess.
Is that it?
Your what?
We're the first victim of Obama's kill the internet button.
Wait, he has a
is
kill the
TikTok.
internet button? What is this?
No, it's Prince. Prince says the internet's over. We're done.
Oh yeah, no, we've been found guilty in pumping evil numbers in the head of society.
All right, so where were we right before we said? Oh, we were about to say the. Okay, so we'll cut it back. All right, so here we're.
Can I? Oh,
Yes, go.
ahead.
No, go.
Can I reveal something to the gang?
Yes.
I actually used to play this game, this real game when I was a kid with my friend
Really?
Billy Bowers, and he and I played a game where we could each select 3 superheroes, and then we had a series of discussions where we would talk out how each superhero would defeat the other or who was better.
So what you're saying is,
It plays for hours.
fact upon fact, internet, there's nobody on earth better qualified to sit on this tribunal than Mr. Jeff Cannata. That's what you're saying, right?
Boom.
All right, so from atop our dais, looking over the blood-soaked Coliseum, we see our first entrant walk into the arena, Mr. Justin Robert Young. Who comes?
Sprung from the snake-worshipping mind of Alan Moore, it is Rorschach of the Watchmen series.
He comes treading in as the choruses sing. Roses fall at his feet, which he crushes beneath his boot heel. And he turns, he faces the tribunal. And who will he face, Justin?
Well, Brian, it's going to be leader of the Transformers, Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime versus Rorschach, round 1. Okay, and so now obviously it's not like they just fight head to head in the Coliseum, right? Because that's a very specific instance. We are judging them based on merit, their ability to solve situations that need solving. So what is our crisis that needs to be fixed?
Okay, this one is really long. So Phil, while I suss out exactly what it means.
Oh my goodness, so you don't want to just pick an easy one. So the way we set this up, Jeff, is basically we wanted everyone to provide, number 1, their nomination for who should enter the tournament, and number 2, we had to come up with one tournament situation, like a crisis that was plausible in comic book land. You know, like Hitler comes back with a robotic arm, and they have to defeat robotic Hitler, right? And then that'll be the qualifiers or the quarterfinals. The semifinals will be when the survivors have to try to outdo each other in a realistic scenario, like the BP oil spill, that kind of thing. And then finally, we have the final 2 face off. You ready, Justin?
And that's a scenario that we're able to dust off literally centuries of ancient magic to determine the final winner.
I'm pretty sure robotic Hitler caused the BP oil spill, but that's just a pet theory of mine.
All right, so talk to us. What is the crisis?
All right, so here we go. A flow of radioactive lava is heading straight for a Hawaiian village. Who is best equipped to stop that lava flow?
So, okay, so
Rorschach is woefully inadequate for that entire scenario. Rorschach would intimidate some people
you
and
know
look
what?
scary in a mask.
I disagree. I think Rorschach could actually guilt the lava flow into turning right around and creeping right back into that volcano. That's my vote. My vote is pro Rorschach on this
Well,
one.
all right. Obviously, listen, out of the box, Optimus Prime has a huge advantage physically in this one. But if we were to make the case for Rorschach, you would say that he is an excellent detective. Maybe he might find the
The guilty magma layer?
Well, no, he could roll some logs or something in front of it. I don't know.
No one cares what caused the lava. They want to get out of the way. And what do they need to get out of the way?
He had to divert
a semi.
He has to find
a semi-truck.
Actually,
that drives
hold on.
fast,
I
away
take
from
this
lava.
back. Like, while Optimus Prime has converted into a truck and is actively pulling the boulder to block the flow, Rorschach is standing on the side of the mountain shouting about how they're all damn dirty communists and they had this coming anyway. That's how I think this thing
Then
rolls
Optimus
down.
goes, Autobots, mount up.
Oh, I thought that was your Rorschach impression.
No, they're very similar. My
All right, I think Tribunal. It's clearly Optimus Prime. Although my heart goes out to Rorschach.
Your heart goes out to him?
Yes, my heart and my mind. What do you say, Tribunal the second? You're Tribunus the third. Tribunus the second. Go.
It's Optimus Prime in a landslide,
so to speak.
We were joking about Optimus Prime. He's actually the first hybrid car. He runs on gas and energon.
That's true. Touche. Tribunus the third. What say you?
I don't know why Obama didn't mention that in his independent energy review a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna go Prime.
All right,
Prime's
so Prime wins, and to Rorschach we say
T-T-F-O!
Sorry, what was that?
I was celebrating Optimus Prime before you denigrated an American hero in Rorschach. But no, sure, no, go ahead.
All right,
make fun of him.
No.
See how well that worked.
Okay, there we go. And to Rorschach we say
T-T-F-O!
Oh, you don't have? I thought you had a bad double complete rainbow.
No, hold on.
Double complete rainbow.
There we go. All right, next matchup. So we go back and we hear the music as all of a sudden entering the arena, our next combatant, Mr. Justin Robert Young.
He is the world's greatest detective, Batman.
Wow, Batman, early favorite in this, and far and away, everyone in the chat room was like, well, it's got to be Batman. But who is he up against, sir?
He is up against the wisecracking assassin known only as Deadpool.
Now, Jeff, who's Deadpool? I'm dumb.
Deadpool is a mutant. He's a Marvel character. He basically was created around the time that Spider-Man and Spawn were huge, and Marvel needed another similar character to sell to the masses. I think he was created by Rob Liefeld, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that.
So he's like dark and wisecracking and shenanigans.
Yes, he couldn't speak for a long time, but now he can. I'm not up on my Deadpool.
Now he won't shut up.
He was written by Gail Simone for a while, I believe. Correct me, chat room, if I'm wrong.
Well, apparently you're correct on
brought him
everything
into
so
a
far.
comedic place.
Chat room is very much on the side of Batman. I think, there's a reason he's so popular, but let's just hope the scenario that we're presented offers Batman a chance to shine.
Indeed. Well, and here's the thing about Deadpool is he is most notable in terms of how different his differences as a character is breaking the fourth wall. So he's very much aware of kind of comic lore.
You know who else did that was She-Hulk, like way much. Do you remember the sensational She-Hulk where she would talk to the people at home? They kind of took that bit a little bit far. But
so if this scenario involves irony in any way,
yeah,
that is good. That is good.
Well,
but at least we have two characters that are sort of matched with their powers, and it's not like Batman versus
Optimus Prime,
a giant 12-story robot.
Dr. Manhattan. All right.
Yeah.
So what is the crisis in comic book land that the two must face?
The crisis is facing a swarm of alien-infested locusts the size of Volkswagens.
An alien infestation of locusts the size of Volkswagens.
Who comes out on top? We'll start with you, Cannata.
Here's my thing. I'm not calling either of these guys in this situation. I'm calling cosmic powered superhero. I'm calling Green Lantern. I'm calling Quasar. You guys with big powers. I'm calling Superman. Heat vision is always good against locusts.
We're not in that world, though.
Okay.
We are in the world where your only two options are Deadpool and Batman. Yeah. Who's better,
Who
sir?
lives the longest? Because understand, the match is called the moment somebody dies, right? So who's going to die first? Who's going to live first? Will it be Batman or Deadpool? I guess that's the question. It's
going to be Batman. Let's be honest. It's going to be Batman.
Justin?
Now, are you just saying resource-wise? Like, he's got the bankroll, he can figure something out?
He's smart enough to run away.
He does have the
He can fly
Batwing.
in the Batwing. He can fight them on their own turf, being the skies over Gotham.
Yeah.
People pointing out also Deadpool can't die. He is regenerative. So-
Thraxatron very loudly pronounces Deadpool beat the Skrulls. So I don't know if that does anything for you, but that's not the same as locusts the size of Volkswagens that are aliens attacking Earth.
Although that was kind of like that Planet Hulk series. So maybe if Hulk were here.
It was like a fake thing. I don't even
No.
think Hulk is showing
That
up.
was when they went to the other planet and basically they just did Conan the Barbarian, but with the Hulk, and it was awesome.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's time. Tribunus. I'm gonna go last this time. Let's go with Tribunus the Third. Justin Robert Young. What say you, sir?
Deadpool.
Deadpool lives longer. No kidding.
Yeah, I think he outlasts him.
Jeff. Tribunus the Second.
I'm sticking with Batman. He's my boy. He's got a cooler costume. Deadpool's a Johnny-come-lately. Deadpool is a sad, pale imitation of Batman.
All right. Listen.
Complete rainbow.
Exactly.
It's not. I don't want to grant favors, but certainly there's a reason that Batman has lasted so long. And there's a reason he has a reputation. As far as I could tell, to me, this is a split second finish. I mean, which one gets squished first by the locust the size of a Volkswagen? It's hard to tell the difference. But I want to give a pass to Batman. I got to think there's a reason he's so popular. So we'll see if he holds out in the second round. But I'm going to advance Batman. Justin.
He's scrappy. He's scrappy.
And meanwhile, Deadpool, got to tell you.
GTFO!
All right, what's next, Justin?
All right, well, right now, here's how the brackets stand. It is Prime versus Batman. As we move on to our next combatants, they are Namor, the Submariner. Prince of the
Submariner?
Seas.
Namor? Yeah.
Namor.
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 Nammer. Nammer, the
Namor.
sublimator.
MC Namor.
MC Nammer. The Namifier, MC Nammernance, and the Namifications. What versus, okay, so Namor versus who?
And I don't know how this happened, but apparently we have a duo entered in under one entry.
Hold on. You're telling me that as the music plays, not one, but two shadows show up on the wings, and they come walking into the blood-soaked Coliseum, and
their names are Calvin and Hobbes.
what? What? What?
A boy walks in with his stuffed animal
It
and a
depends.
healthy imagination.
It depends on how you look at things. It could be. I mean, if I look this way, yeah, it looks like a kid with his stuffed animal. But if I look kind of over here, I'm just like, oh my god, that's Spaceman Spiff and his awesome, talking tiger.
You know, I'll tell
What's
you
the
what, after a
problem?
box of chocolate-coated sugar bombs, who knows what this kid's capable of?
All right, so it's
What's
Calvin
the problem
and
that
Hobbes.
they're dealing with? Because if it's amusing 12-year-old Jeff, I think
You
I
know
think they
what?
gotta-
You may get lucky. So again, it's Calvin and Hobbes versus who is it again?
Against Namor, the Submariner.
Namor.
Is the problem that they have to boost the sales of Scholastic? 'Cause I think I have a
Well,
serious
let's-
guess as to who could win that.
Let's
Well,
hope so.
although there were initial leaks that the challenge would be setting up a club that would be no girls allowed.
In which
The
case, I think
actual
we're all.
challenge.
What about is the challenge urinating on different makes of car?
Different logos.
I think actually the challenge may be like urinating in the water. In which case, I'm pretty sure they're both tied. See, because he's a kid and he pisses
Yeah, it's
in the
'cause
pool.
the guy's
Yeah,
in the water.
that's
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
get it,
fine.
I get
Yeah,
it.
That's good.
Well, I'll tell you what. No matter what it is, I think that he's going to give his mom and dad just
I want
a
to
real
see
hard time.
Calvin fight Optimus because he could piss right on that truck, man.
He's pissing on the Decepticon symbol. And he switches to the Autobot, and Optimus is like, "No."
I'm pretty sure I've seen
I'll
that.
tell you, here's my love in the chat room. Immediately reminding me that, of course, their club was gross. Get rid of slimy girls with the S in girls. at
All
the
right.
end.
So, what is what is
Here
our
is the
crisis?
challenge. Calvin and Hobbes and the Submariner have to fight off brain-hungry zombies who are proficient in martial arts weaponry. So not necessarily even martial arts, Like just the swords and the
Just
throwing stars.
nunchucks and
And then
shiny
nunchucks,
stars and yeah, I got you.
Man, if there was ever a foe that was like mentally the closest to a 12-year-old boy, then the martial arts wielding zombie weapons are the guys. I don't know. This one's going to be closer than I thought. Because it's not like raw strength matters in this kind of setup, is it? Like MC Namor could,
you know, it could help definitely. Because what's going to happen when Calvin runs in with his stuffed animal is those zombies are going to start eating his face, and then we're all going to cry and say, "Stop killing him!
Yeah, but
he's already dead."
but on the flip side, like if we're going with the imaginary Calvin and Hobbes, that he was a genius of creating these intense scenarios and these clever solutions to problems. That's what the comic was all about.
I think what Jeff's saying is that it's not like that situation won't be going on. It will just be a panicked fever dream induced by the last fleeting moments of functioning brain power as a zombie tears into his skull and rips his brainstem into the street.
Look, well, I see where you guys are headed. You know what? I tell you. Oh no, let me hear. What? Meanwhile, you're gonna play.
Meanwhile, you know the chat room is all a flutter about Namor being a water-based hero, which he is, but he also has super strength out of the water and can fly. So
yeah, but he's also a dick.
He's got those tiny little wings.
But sometimes a dick is what you need in zombie situations.
I'll tell you, can we also just agree? He might be the biggest dick in comics.
Oh,
like
dude,
there is
totally.
there is never a Submariner story where he's not bitching about humans
or
where
trying to
he
sleep with.
He saves the world and he's like, whatever. I just saved it because you guys we share the shallow end.
And when he's not doing that, he's trying to hit on Sue Storm, right? Wasn't he always trying to hit on the Invisible Girl?
Yes, that was a big part of a recent story that I can't recall at the moment, but yes.
Well, okay, Tribunal, I'm going to kick it. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say, you guys don't believe, but in my imagination, Spaceman Spiff is able to conjure up a freaking Tyrannosaurus and a spaceship, and he's taking out the zombies with the plan. Namor is too busy hitting on a chick who he doesn't realize is a zombie yet. That's how I think it goes. Tribunus the Third, I go to you, sir.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm a big fan of Calvin and Hobbes, and unless the spaghetti incident is actually the time that he took out a wave of martial arts weaponry wielding zombies, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that it's Namor for the win.
MC Namor. All right, Jeff, Tribunus the Second. It's up to you, my man.
It's full on Namor, man.
Whoa!
He's one of the Illuminati, which means he's one of the most powerful members of the Marvel universe.
You and I've always had a deep suspicion that you are part of the pro-dick agenda that's taken down comics.
Dude, if there's one thing
America.
you can say about me, it's that I am pro-dick.
All right, fine. Did you hear that, Calvin and Hobbes? You sweet little scamps. Why don't you guys? Next up.
Like a fool with your pants on the ground.
All right, Justin. Chat room, not happy with your pro D agenda. Like now that I've said the word, I want to take it back. All right, so they're saying "Voo this man." Next up, who's that? Whose shadow do I see lengthening on the doorstep of the blood-soaked arena, Mr. Justin Robertson?
Well, that would be the sexy, slinky frame of Catwoman.
Ooh, Catwoman. And who will she be up against? Who do I see on the other side of the arena? What shadow do I see?
It will be Marvel's most powerful magician, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. So we got a dude versus a chick is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, so Doctor Strange has power over all the planes of existence, wielder of the mystic arts, and
Not
Catwoman.
exactly
Possessor of the Eye of
proficient in
Amato.
hand-to-hand combat, though.
No, I know. It depends on what crisis happens to come up. But meanwhile, like, what does Catwoman have? And isn't Catwoman evil? Wasn't she represented as bad?
It's comics, Brian. Everyone's good and then evil and good again.
All right, fine. So, out of the
chaotic
middle
good.
of the arena, what crisis emerges, Justin?
All right, here we go. Angry radioactive brain parasites have incapacitated the heroes of the world. For some reason, the only one left untouched are our two heroes, who is enlisted with the help of Mr. Fantastic's brain, which has gained the ability of speech. His body, however, is useless. Not only do they have to destroy the mind-munching monstrosities, but they also must stop Garfield, who is mutated into a 100-foot fire-breathing giant enraged by Mondays, who causes terrible earthquakes and tsunamis, the likes of which never seen in Sri Lanka, each time his stomach grumbles.
All right, so let me get this. Let me
You gotta
get
remember
this
to breathe, bro.
Let me get this straight. First of all, I assume they used like an HTML tag that said, "Please read the following in a newsy voice from the 1920s."
Sure, Brian, let's say that.
Second of all, so the exact threat is that brain parasites have taken out all the other heroes and also created a giant mutant Garfield that wants to kill Mondays.
100-foot Garfield, whose love for giant lasagna is only matched by his hatred for Mondays.
First of all,
Catwoman's got the cat thing going on with Garfield. She can kind of relate to him on a cat v cat level.
okay,
That's a good point. But that's a lot of mojo that she's got to work for. That's a big fat cat.
let me just say that already this does sound much closer to a Doctor Strange plotline than I'm pretty sure I read once before. Than a Catwoman plotline, which I've never read Catwoman, so I wouldn't know.
I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange could like just mystically turn it into Monday, and Garfield hates Mondays.
Yeah, but then again, how dangerous is a 100-foot Garfield? Because you get the sense that he's probably just going to lay around anyway.
It seems like you could appease him with a 100-foot lasagna. You know, like you could just like it's just like throwing a virgin into the volcano. Every Monday you got to throw a giant lasagna at Garfield, and then everyone's fine. So it's like, why do you even need to fight?
You know, or is a 100-foot Garfield just mean that John is 100 feet of frustrated by his wise talking cat?
I think this was all a big misunderstanding. I see a 100-foot Garfield every year on Thanksgiving and the Macy's Day Parade.
Hey,
I'll tell you what, that's a goddamn good point.
Wait a minute. Oh wow. So so maybe it is a misunderstanding, but like, don't you have to fight the brain parasites because Mr. Fantastic's brain, but not his mouth, told you to? Wasn't that part of it?
Yeah, well, and you are aided by Mr. Fantastic's brain, which can now talk, but his body's useless. So he might be able to help you with the science there.
Okay.
You don't have to be super scientific.
All right, you know what? Then in that case, I'm decided, because I don't care what the problem is. You've got a sexy beast who could talk to cats and has multiple lives, and then you've got, you know, Doctor Strange along with the assistance of Mr. Fantastic. Two brilliant mind of magic, brilliant mind of science come together to fight a problem. I'm going to say that defeats a brilliant mind of science and a chick who could talk to cats. That's my I'm pro Strange, but then again, I'm a magician. Maybe I should recuse myself from this.
Yeah, you're right. You have a conflict of interest here. And I am a man who dresses up in leather, so I have a conflict of interest.
And Justin is functionally retarded, so he's
I
clearly
was once licked by 80 cats, which makes me totally out of it.
All right, so what do you guys say? I'm going to go in favor of Doctor Strange in this scenario for sure.
I love Doctor Strange, one of my favorite characters, and I was leaning his direction, but you kind of talked me out of it, Brian, by saying that a great mind of science versus a great mind of magic can come together, and we all saw what happened with the finale of Lost, which was based on the same premise. That whole series is based on the same premise, and based purely on the complete disappointment of that show. I'm going with Catwoman.
You're going to give it to Catwoman? Really?
I love Doctor Strange. Don't get me wrong, but Catwoman is going to, in this particular situation,
she's going to be flailing in her whip and getting eaten by all the... All right, go ahead.
Talk to Garfield. She can talk to Garfield.
All right, Justin.
I guess I'm the deciding vote then, huh?
Yes, you are. Tribunus III, speak your words.
Yeah, you want to know what? It breaks down for me what you find more threatening. Is it the brain parasites or the 100-foot Garfield? Because either seems like they're better suited to take down the other one. All that being said, I'm going to have to go Catwoman.
What? You're more concerned? You're more concerned with Garfield than you are with the brain parasites? Brain parasites, really? You need brains.
Fantastic's there. Fantastic, like literally fixing the brain parasites is gonna be Mr. Fantastic going, hey, you know that switch? No, 3 ones down. just flip it twice.
You know what?
And
Actually,
then hit the
I'd
button.
hate to say that. No, you're
And
right.
then the beacon from the Baxter building is going to go beep, 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 and
No.
all the brain parasites are going to be dead because he planned for this like in 1978.
I think you're right, because it's like he's got the brain power. He's got the brains. This is a brain versus brain parasites, and then you got Catwoman. It's a cat versus the cat. That's clearly the way to go. I apologize, Tribunal. I did not do that. Do you hear that, Doctor Strange? You need to...
T-T-F-O!
And you know what? Are we halfway through now? Have we done 4 prelims? Or we got
we
one?
have our final 4, Bri.
Wow. Namor,
What an odd group.
Optimus Prime, Batman, and Catwoman. I can't believe he did not advance Calvin and Hobbes. They would have been great in this. All right. Okay, so hey, let's take a break real quick and thank one of our sponsors right here at NSFW Show. Do you know who it is, Mr. Justin Robert Young?
I did not get the text, so no, I don't.
You didn't get the email because this episode of NSFW is brought to you by Audible.
Woo!
Podcast.com/NSFW. Now, you've actually been doing some Audible
Oh my God! Can I tell you a little story about today?
Yes.
So I'm driving around and I'm listening to the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov.
Oh, one of my
And-
favorite books ever.
Oh my God! So Foundation and Empire.
Have you never read
reading
'em?
today. I never read them.
Oh
So
my
Can I
God.
confess something? I still have
catching
not
up with
read
the
them.
classics.
Oh, Brian.
I know.
So I am listening to the final half hour of Foundation and Empire. And I'm not, which is the second. It's odd because it's Foundation is the first book, Foundation and Empire is the second one, and then the second Foundation is the third book. It's like,
And you'll understand why that is when you read
yeah,
it.
it's like Rambo First Blood being the
Well,
second.
no, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with it. There is a second foundation.
Yes. No, I know. It does make sense in the larger thing. It's just confusing when you download all 3 at the same time and you get 10 minutes into the second Foundation and you're like, wait, there's a lot I've missed.
Whoa! What did I just hear? I just watched the trailer for Inception accidentally. Yikes!
So anyway, let me just tell you this. I am in the final half hour of Foundation and Empire, and my mind is just blown, exploded
Yes.
all over the inside of my car because the story is incredible, the reading is fantastic, and then in the About the Author epilogue, I realized several things. Number one, Isaac Asimov was 5 years younger than me when he wrote the book that I had just listened to. And number two, it was in 1951, or no, 52 that the second one was published.
Wow.
Which means it was only a year after the first one was written, which is
And
insane.
he's written, I think, 800 books.
No.
In the Audible...
Isaac Asimov is one of my favorite authors of all time. And
Yeah.
he's written books on every conceivable subject you can imagine. He doesn't just write science fiction. He's written analysis of the Bible. He's written like detective stories. He's written
He
anything
wrote
you
for
can
Batman
imagine. And
for a
he's one
while.
of the most
A lot of people don't know that.
one of the most prolific authors in the history of the, and a lot of people say that the quality of his stuff is low because he just knocked it out, but there are these incredible moments in his writing.
Well, and that's
Oh,
true. That's true of
fantastic.
anyone. You take all the great artists in history of any variety, and they're all prolific. You know, Vincent Van Gogh just painted so much stuff, which is part of the reason he got so good at it. And you think about like the Outliers 10,000 Hours thing.
I'll tell you what, Jeff. If you're interested, I used to do a podcast series with the amazing Randy, where I just like interviewed him about old stories and stuff, and we did a whole podcast episode about just his friendship with Isaac Asimov. And he told
Oh, man.
he tells a story of like whenever you would call him like on the phone, he would just hear typewriter
Typing?
rattling. Yeah,
No
and
kidding.
he would have a conversation with you and be banging out some insane book that would come out like 6 months later.
But dude, you talk about having your mind blown reading Foundation and Empire. So there's these Foundation books all about the Empire, and there's a whole series of them. And then he also wrote around the same time the robot novels, I, Robot,
Yeah.
and there's a whole series of those. And those are like these detective stories about robots, and he's the guy that invented the laws of robots. And then he writes a book after writing these 2 series that completely stand on their own, and not thinking about them being linked in any way. He writes a book called Robots and Empire that links the 2 universes of these books completely seamlessly, and completely makes sense that they would all be one story, one universe, and it blew 12-year-old Jeff's mind.
Oh, hold on, real quick. Spoiler alert, guys who are starting this great journey and who wanted to have their minds blown. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were talking about the
No,
trailer
I'm
for
not-
Inception.
I mean, that's the premise of that book. That's the premise of that book is that Robots and Empire is the link between these two universes. There's no spoilers. It's just incredible that he was able to do that. I think I was.
All right. Well,
loved
so first of all, everyone who's is there anyone out there who hasn't tried Audible yet? I mean, let's face it. Come on.
If you haven't tried it, you're a gosh darn idiot.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah, no, it's super awesome, and like there's such a diversity. Like when I got like the 6 books that I got an Elmore Leonard novel, a sports nonfiction book, the 3 Isaac Asimov novels, and Ben Mesrick's book about Facebook. Like there's just such an awesome an awesome diversity. So
Okay, so-
audiblepodcast.com/NSFW. It's you're gonna get a free book no matter what. You sign up, you get a free book. If you don't like it, cancel it. But I'll guarantee you, if you cancel your subscription because you don't like it, if you don't have money, whatever, I understand that. But if you're like, I have the scratch, but I just don't dig on this Audible thing, I pity you. You will live a loveless life and you will die alone.
So we should say real quick, you can get the gold plan where you get 1 book per month, or you could do the platinum plan for 2 books a month. And if you do the platinum plan, you get 2 free books, I guess, right? And then,
Absolutely.
but meanwhile, I want to call out by name the Magician, Blender MF, Nick, Chris Ronan, Herstat, Oh No, Pretty Jumbles. Those were the ones who raised their hand when we said, has anybody not tried Audible? To which we say, shame on you, my friends. And you can make things right by going to audiblepodcast.com/NSFW and signing up. Keep in mind, not only does that get you into the awesome club of people reading amazing books and exploding your brain, but also it keeps us in business, and they certainly track that stuff. So head on over to audiblepodcast.com/NSFW. Are you doing any audiobooks right now, Jeff?
I am. I'm listening to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, I hear amazing
On
things
Audible.
about that. And I guess I should say real quick, I'm doing Peter F. Hamilton's The Nice Dawn trilogy. I'm almost done with the first book. Definitely start with Pandora's Star if you want to try some crazy, hardcore science fiction post-singularity stuff.
And I should really publicly thank you, as I privately thanked you, but you are the reason that I tried the Song of Ice and Fire series on Audible.
Oh my God!
You are the reason, and it completely changed my life. And incredible.
And it
books,
was
I
you
recommend
that
everyone.
pointed out that the reader of that series, Roy Dotrice, is going to be on the HBO series coming up, right?
Yes, he's playing Grandmaster Pycelle.
Which is so perfect. Which is so,
Yeah.
oh my God. If you haven't read it's going to be amazing. We'll talk about that in a future episode, though. Okay, so back to the arena and the battle
Indeed.
at hand, sir. As we have joining us one of the entrants. Who's facing off first, sir?
All right, here we go. We are going to go Optimus Prime versus Batman.
Prime versus Batman. And now in this case, in the first round, we asked people to subscribe to submit to us their crises of a comic book nature. Something that might actually happen in a comic book. The exploding lava, the brain-eating zombies, the parasites, that kind of thing. Now we want a real-life crisis because we want to know who would be more practically, realistically useful right here in the here and now. Justin, what is our crisis between these two?
It's something that we're all very, very, very familiar with. It was all over the news last week. These 2 real-life heroes are going to have to save the marriage of Mel Gibson.
Are you serious?
Mel Gibson, for those of you who don't know, currently embroiled in a child custody problem with his baby's mama, and said a few salty things that were apparently recorded and leaked to the media.
I think the only 2 heroes that are useful in this situation are Power Man and Black Lightning.
Yeah, Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is his new name.
It's true.
Wow. So, by the way, I love this visual. So it's just like I picture the 2 of them in like in the arena. We set up a desk and we bring the 2 of them, Mel Gibson and his missus, sit them down, and then it's like they flip a coin, who goes first? And Optimus Prime's like, all right, I guess it's me. And he goes, and he sits down, and he's just like, all right, you kids, what's this about? Really?
Well, I mean, if Optimus seems more like he's explaining stuff a lot, right? Like he is a gigantic robot that transforms into a car. It always seems like whenever he's dealing with humans, he's always doing a lot of explaining and making them understand.
A lot of speeching, you know, he's explaining the story of what's important for life. Wherever there's trouble, we'll be there, hiding, waiting, transforming.
Now here, is it going to be a disqualification if Batman brings Alfred out? Because I feel like Alfred would be able to maybe talk some
total
sense.
disqualification. I don't remember hearing it being Batman and Alfred. It's Batman on one end. What do you
I just read the best thing in the chat room. It beats any argument that I have. Jack Freedom wrote, "My parents are dead. Stay together."
That will make a very compelling argument. But do you really even think that's what Batman would say? I think he would go up and just start beating one of their heads on the desk and say, "Listen, you two are going to stay together."
Mel Gibson needs to have his head beat. I don't know. I'm not so sure we even deserves to be in a marriage, and I worry for that poor woman. I'm not so sure
this is the challenge, though, Jeff. Is we have to save these crazy kids' marriage, and maybe a beating's part of it. I'm not willing to rule that out.
What if Batman just leaves his costume and walks out of the room slowly? You know?
Wait, he gets naked?
Like pretending he's invisible or something? I don't understand that. What do you go through with
the costume is a marital aid. That's all I'm saying. The Batman costume.
Oh, you're saying all of a sudden he puts on the costume, shows her, you know, Shangri-La, and then they're all good.
That costume might ward off the pack of never mind that Mel's so concerned about.
Oh my God, you did not just go there. You did not just. All right.
Pardon?
I'm sorry. I'm trying. Okay, so Optimus Prime. I think that this.
By the way, this is the best. This is the best game we've ever come up with. We're trying to rationally argue whether Optimus Prime or Batman would best save the marriage of Mel Gibson.
And you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna come out. Among Optimus Prime's strong suits, in the cartoon, in the movie, has always been the ability to explain himself and to communicate effectively. That's never been one of Batman's strong suits. So I'm going to go strongly in favor of Optimus Prime on this one.
I don't know if Mel's problem is explaining himself. I think he needs to SDF you.
Well, that's just it. He needs to understand somebody else's position. And Batman ain't the guy to put that together.
Maybe Batman will do one of those like intimidation things, like, you know, where he's like trying to scare the bejesus out of the crooked cops.
Right, okay. So this is what you think what'll fix Mel Gibson's racism is having a guy called the Dark Knight. You have the Dark Knight come in and intimidate him. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm sure he'll be totally not racist after that.
What do you mean she looks like a pig in heat?
Look, he's only going to make the problem worse. You got to go outside of humanity, and you got to have Optimus Prime tell a moving story.
Mel Gibson's always respected the epic hero, man. He made Braveheart. Maybe he respects Batman. Maybe he just needs somebody of Batman's caliber to talk some sense into.
He sits down and he's like, "Let me tell you a story about a little robot that was made of titanium, and all the other robots were made of steel. Do you know how that robot felt?" And then it changes him. It fixes him.
All right, Jeff, you do the really good Optimus Prime impression. If Optimus Prime were to tell Mel Gibson just a word of advice, what would it be in the voice?
Autobots. Screw Mel Gibson.
And all of a sudden, they actually transform into a physical train, and they proceed to train Mel Gibson.
Oh, so you.
In which case, that's another vote for Optimus Prime, because the Dark Knight cannot do that. All he can do is exacerbate his racism. That's what's going on.
I'm going to go ahead with Optimus Prime as well.
You want to put a vote?
I'm going to go with Batman. I think Batman has been to counseling himself. I think he can take Mel to counseling. I think he can kick the shit out of Mel and then bring him down, force him to an intervention. I'm sure that Bruce Wayne has some Jewish friends he can make Mel hang out with. And, I think sensitivity training is in Mel's future. Even though he already did it and it didn't seem to take.
In the chat room, Unknown32 just shouts, "Dildo bots, strap on!"
All right.
All right, let's go.
Although, can I just say about the whole... So where did we land? Prime, were you Prime or Batman?
Dude, I'm totally for Prime. Prime would be way better at doing that. So I say I never thought I'd be the guy to say this, but guess what, Batman? You need to...
GTFO!
because you got to make way for Optimus Prime.
All right. Did anybody else, when the whole Mel Gibson thing happened, the only thing I could imagine was a weary Danny Glover picking up the phone to say no comment for like the 50th time because everybody.
He's too old for this racist.
Exactly, and that's like he just hangs up the phone and shakes his head slowly. I'm getting too old for this.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. Our second semifinal match. It is Namor versus the Catwoman.
Namor versus the Catwoman. Wow. And also in related news, other crap I could care less about. So anyway, Namor the jerk versus Catwoman the prissy person. All these terrible words came to my mind.
Come on, man! You gotta settle in here and
I'm bitter
a fair
that she
judge.
beats my man Doctor Strange. She defeated a magician, which is what the ladies always do. All the ladies beat the magicians because we're all lame losers who don't have it where it counts. And when there's a 100-foot Garfield, you go call the ladies, you don't call the magicians. So I'm pissed off about that. You're damn right. Go ahead, Justin. What's the crisis that needs fixing?
You are really weird, Brian.
There's a lot of bitterness coming out tonight.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm a little bit ticked. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a lot of. Where's the wife?
Okay.
Where's the wife?
So here's the real life scenario.
I don't want to ever hear any of this.
A female is sitting at soccer practice when a turd of a kid starts picking on her kid. The heroes overhear the turd's mom make some snide remark and laugh at what her child just did. Clearly, there needs to be a reckoning. Who is best suited, Namor or the Catwoman?
Oh, I mean, can there be any debate about this? Namor is going to try to hit on the girl, on the mom, and Catwoman's going to go kill the kid. And it's like, I'm in favor of killing the kid instead, so it's got to be Catwoman.
I think you're really overrating this Namor's a ladies' man thing. He really is he's a social retard. He only hit on Sue Storm because she was married to such a weirdo in Reed Richards.
Maybe that's how you read it, but chat room.
Because he hated everybody else. He was disgusted by humanity.
Yeah, only wanted to bang humanity in the form of any chick that with 2 legs. It's you always want what you don't have, right? And he's like, "Whoa, those tails split in the middle." And he's like, "What?" And he freaks out about it. That's his whole thing.
You always want what you don't have. That's why we're attracted to fish.
Well, that explains why I banged that trout.
Okay, so what do you guys say, Jeff? What's your take on this?
Man, I'm gonna go with Namor just because of tiny wings on his feet. I don't know why.
That is the best justification I've ever seen. I imagine, like, after the tournament, the 3 tribunals, we go back to the room to have drinks and drink the blood of our spoils, and so it's like we sidle up to Jeff. We're like, seriously, wings on his feet. That's your stated reason for being in favor of Namor.
I'm sticking with it. I like little teeny feet. Like, he flies, and they're like, yeah, man, we got to give him a justification to fly. Well, I could draw little tiny wings on his feet. Yes, go with that.
I would love to see a movie where, like, they just show those wings beating like a hummingbird. Just and it's enough to take him off of the ground. So your point is, whatever the injustice, Namor over Catwoman.
I don't know. Catwoman, I don't know. I think Namor is gonna. I think he's more powerful. He's stronger, and he's wetter. So.
Which, as will the mom be. Go ahead, Justin.
Rainbow.
Double rainbow.
Yeah, all right. Here's my thing. I'm actually kind of with Cannata on the Namor thing, just because he can come flying in next to the kid and be like, "Hey, straighten out, you little turd, or else you'll never have cool winged feet like me."
That's right. Yeah, that's cool. Or a Speedo that is made out of.
Okay, so you're saying there's a soccer game, and you guys are okay with a dude wearing nothing but a Speedo comes fluttering in on hummingbird feet, and then taunts one of the kids, and then flies off. That's better than Catwoman coming and setting things right.
How is Catwoman going to set things right? She's murdered people.
She'll walk over and she'll be like, leave him alone. And the kid will be like, oh, I'm so scared, and then leave. But Namor is like a half-naked weirdo, flapping his feet wings in.
He's got weird Spock ears too, so it's not like he's human.
What do,
I don't know. I've learned a lot about soccer just watching the World Cup lately, and I don't think he would be as weird as you might think. I think he'd fit in.
I cannot believe you're saying Namor is better.
I just don't see where you're coming from. How is Catwoman going to smooth out this situation?
Because she'll scare the bejesus out of the little kid who's the bully. Whereas
And
Namor,
why are
what
we
is
scaring
scary?
the little kid? Isn't the mom the one that really needs the talking to?
Well, read the scenario again. I thought the kid was bullying and the mom needed defense.
No, the mom was snickering at the kid's turd actions.
Well,
like encouraging the kid to be more of a turd.
See, this wouldn't be a problem if you had Calvin and Hobbes, because Calvin and Hobbes would just kill them all right? All right.
Calvin would totally embarrass the ever-loving crap out of that kid.
See, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going in favor of Catwoman. That's my final decision.
I agree. I think we made a big mistake in the preliminary round. Had we known that it would be a 9-year-old kid dilemma, we should have gone with Calvin and Hobbes for the win.
But
we, you know, you got to
made your
dance with who
bed.
brung ya. And Namor's my boy.
All right, and Justin?
Yeah, Bri, Catwoman's murdered people, and Namor's just trying to keep the ocean safe for his people. I'm going to have to go ahead with Namor.
All right,
here.
well, look, you made that decision, and that means this will not be what happens in the final. So enjoy that. That ain't going to happen. I'm sorry. You'll not see
Wham.
Calvin peeing on Optimus Prime. Bad news. Sorry, guys. The crowd,
Vuvuzela.
the Vuvuzela is very upset. Oh, wait, he's Russian now? You forgot
Yeah,
which
sorry,
episode this
that was
is.
my bad.
Okay, so final.
Did you guys notice that that P stream from Calvin and Hobbes made a double rainbow all the way, all the way, double complete rainbow all the way.
Okay, so does that mean it's time for our final? Like the final
We are in the
face-off?
finals, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has come down, as we always knew it would, to two of the world's most impressive superpowers. Namor versus Optimus Prime.
I can't believe it, but look, it's a fair contest. There's a reason these are our laws, and that's how we play them. And so I guess it's time for us to settle things the way we always settle them here on the Tonight Show.
Tonight Show? What?
Whoa! We changed the
Bizarre
name,
fever
everybody!
dream are you
Yeah! The Tonight Show!
What the hell? What kind of crazy fantasy world do you live in? What bizarre dream world are you living in, Brian? Seriously?
I couldn't decide whether I was going to say on the NSFW show or tonight's show, and so I ended up mashing up into the Tonight Show.
I made some funny mistakes in my time, but I think your Freudian slip is showing. You're
Where it's like I'm all like ever since I became Lord of the Universe. I mean, host of the show.
yeah, exactly. There's some tiny part of Brian that's like, all right, first I host a show on the Twit network, then NBC late night. That's the step.
I totally
That's the steps I'm going on.
I totally see it. Okay, so as we always settle things on tonight's show called NSFW, there's only one final arbiter of truth, and we go.
Kevin Eubanks!
It's our own Kevin Eubanks. We're gonna call none other than Revision 3's Roger Chang. So we'll see. There we go. We got him on the line.
That just happened.
Chang Ex Machina.
Hello.
Hey, Roger Chang. It's Brian Brushwood on the NSFW show. How you doing?
I am doing well.
Hey, listen, I need you to pick one over the other and understand that yours will be a final decision and there'll be no more discussion about it because it's a final face-off. I need you to pick Optimus Prime or Prince Namor.
I would have to go with Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime, you heard that? Hear that, Namor? You need to,
T-F-O!
because it's been decided the champion, the greatest superhero in all of comics, Here's to you, Optimus Prime. Can I just say something real quick? If this had been the final face-off, if it was Calvin and Hobbes and not Prince Namor that advanced, pretty sure Calvin would have won in that final face-off.
No, that's how Calvin shows that he's happy.
He anoints the beloved, is what he
and
is.
Also, you can see he's not even really peeing on him. He's peeing next to him.
He's being respectful. He's just like, you got a spot of dirt on your chin. Let me get that off for you. Psst. All right, Jeff, where can people see you, sir?
Then Optimus Prime's made of metal, man. You can pee on him, whatever. Like he cares.
No, he'll rust. That's how he would have lost. You would have peed on him. You would have rusted. That would have been in the end of the show. Jeff, where can people see you?
Totally Rad Show on Revision 3 comes out every Tuesday. We've got Weekend Confirmed on shacknews.com that comes out every Friday. And if you're in Canada, you can see me every day of the week on Reviews on the Run on the television.
Now I've seen your tweeting about Reviews on the Run, but I don't know anything about it. What is Reviews on the Run?
It is a daily review show reviewing video games and movies, and it's with Victor Lucas, who does Electric Playground, has been doing it for years and is one of the best guys in the business at it. And I am a correspondent that does Blu-ray reviews on that show.
And what channel is it on for people who want to see it on the TVs?
It's on G4 Canada, and you can also see it at reviewsontherun.com.
Awesome. Justin, where can people see you, sir?
Well, two places specifically. Number one, the brand new Weird Things podcast is up right now at weirdthings.com. Remember to check in there every single day for all the latest weird news on the Weird Things blog. And please do yourself a favor, go over to youtube.com/weirdthingstv, where my YouTube series, Weird Things TV, is waiting for your enjoyment.
Awesome. And of course, you could. I'm still begging for Twitter followers. I'm about this close to hitting a significant number on. You've already crossed the number that I'm thinking of. I don't want to say what it is because that'd be kind of gauche. But I'd love to cross that number. So if you want to follow at Schwood, that's at SHW.
Say it. You can't not, because like saying it without saying it is douchier than just saying it.
You wouldn't be referencing a certain other magician who has a habit of saying things without actually saying it, do you? I was hanging out with this guy. I don't want to say who he is. He was a candidate. He's current president of the United States. I probably shouldn't say who he is.
I probably shouldn't say, listen, I have a partner who doesn't speak, and I probably shouldn't say anything. I shouldn't say his name.
Are you guys talking about Doctor Strange again?
Yes, we are. We're talking about how strange Doctor Strange is. But in the meantime, I'm trying to cross over 20,000 on Twitter. That would be really cool for me because I'd be still playing in the wake of Jeff Cannata, but that'd be awesome. So if you want to follow at Schwood,
please go ahead and do Brian a favor. Follow at Justin R. Young to make sure that Brian sails past that 20,000.
It's the only way to do it. But until then, for me, Schwoodman, and of course the incredible Sea Jew, Justin Robert Young, that's it for this episode of NSFW. Love you guys immensely. We'll see you next Tuesday. Stick around for the after show, folks.
Night Attack is through.
No, it's serious business.
Seriously, business people, get ready for the Night Attack.
It's business, seriously.